4-petal anti-spin side plain flower. And what's happening is, we just look at one hand, the poi hits the bottom of the turn down there, in the front, not up top, and then it does there again. But it's making 4 petals in that process. So let us start with just doing some drills where we move through each of the positions. So we'll start down here at the bottom. As the poi is coming to the back side of the turn, what we're going to do is move our hand to the front, and then the poi will go around like that in the front position. So you're down here, and then you pop it to the front. You're down here, and you pop it to the front. Now, as it's coming across the bottom of the turn here, what you're going to do is pop your hand up to the top, and then back behind. So you go from the front, up and over to the back. Yes. And then from the back, as it's coming over the top here, you're going to bring it down to where you started. So from the bottom, you pop to the front. Then in one motion, you want to go up and over to the back. From the front, up and over to the back. And that's the hardest part, is going from the top to the back. Okay, let's work on it in steps. Let me face this way so that you can have it on my side. Face this way with me. Still do your left hand. Yes. Let's go from the front to the top. As it's coming across the bottom, you bring your hand to your side, and you're going to pop your hand up so it comes up like this. You only want to go to midnight, so it's only going to go from this front position to that top. From this front to that top. From the front to the top, and then from the top, you go back behind. Now, when you go back behind, this is where the Pilates drills really come in handy. If you watch me, just watch me for a second doing just this left hand from the front view. What you'll want to be looking for is how my hip moves with my arm, because that's what you're going to end up doing. And you'll notice my head is staying basically still. So when the poi is at the bottom and the top, my hip is neutral. As I move it to the front, my hip is going this way because my right hand will be back here. Then back to neutral, and then my hip is here because my left hand is here, and my right hand will be here, and then I come back to neutral, right? So you can see the whole thing from that angle. Now, if we look at it from the side, I'm going to do the drill. What I want you to do is drop into your body, let go of all the stress and tension you might have from your day. Your feet should be shoulder width apart. Your heels should be on the floor, toes maybe slightly lifted, and then you're going to have your feet underneath your shoulders, your knees soft, your pelvis tucked, your core tight. I want you to imagine between these two bones here, these muscles in between them are tight, pulling you in and up, so they're supporting your upper body and your rib cage. And you can take a nice deep breath and fill in downward. And then I want you to take your shoulders, you're going to roll them over the top, come down and in and down toward your sacrum. And then if you've done this right, you're going to have your earlobe over your shoulder, over your hip, over your heel, with the knees soft and your pelvis tucked. Now from here, let's raise the right arm and lower the left arm. And then you're going to do the titty drill. So the titty drill is where you move. The first position will be this, where your right arm comes forward and your left arm comes back. As you do that, you open the hip to the back to support the motion. And it's this motion in the hip that's helping you propel the poi around, because then you're going to come back to neutral where your left arm is up and your right is down, and then you propel to the right side, so your right hip goes back as your right hand goes back, and then you come back to neutral again. Now, ideally, you'd be looking forward the entire time. I know you're going to be looking at me, but in general, you would look forward. And we would go T, I, 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 T, I. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. A little faster. And 10. And 11, so every time I'm saying a number, my right arm is hitting the top. So I want you to try and do it at my pace. Let me show you the pace. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. It's that fast. Well, let's just try and do 10. We'll start with the right arm up, left arm down, and 5, 6, 7, go. T, I, T, I. 2, I, T. 3, and around, and 4, come around. 5, and around. 6, and around. 7, around. 8, around. 9, around, and 10, and around. I would say what you want to do for homework for yourself, for your practice, is just do 10 reps twice a day, 3 days a week, or once a day, every day. And you'll notice within 30 days, you'll probably notice a difference, and you may even be ready to up it to like 15 reps or 20 reps, per session. Going back to just the left hand. If we start with the left hand at the bottom, okay, from the bottom, it's gonna pop to the front. Yes, that's good. And you wanna make sure you're not too high and not too low. It's really forming a straight line, yes. And then from here, you're gonna pop it up. And you wanna do it in one motion. So if you watch me do it from the front to the top, so watch 5, 6, 7, and now I go up. It's one motion. Up. It's not 1, 2 together. It's 1. From the front to yes, beautiful. That's exactly which one. From the front to the top. Yes. And then once you go from the front to the top, you want to immediately go to the back. It doesn't even do a full rotation at the top. Now, as you go up and over to the back, if you look at me from behind, you'll notice my hip has opened. That's what helps me keep the poi so tight to my body. It also helps me keep the poi from going like this, right? So if you're losing your plane in the back, scoop across the bottom of the turn to hold it in that position better. So let's start from the bottom. Let's see if we can go all 4 positions. Relax into it. We'll go at a nice slow pace. And 5, 6, 7, and go. Front, top, back, bottom. 10. Front, top, back, bottom. When you are at the peak, I'm going to lower my hand down so you can see. When I'm at the peak of the turn here, as the poi starts coming this way, and I start moving my hand backwards, what I do is I aim with my fingertips. And what my fingertips are doing is they're aiming for a straight line backwards in order to keep it straight. And if you don't aim in a straight line backwards, so let's say you aim like this, right? My hand, if I were to hold it, it's at an angle. It's not straight like this. So the angle of your fingertips is going to control the poi. So I'll show you messed up. So this is messed up, right? And my hands, if I showed you the angle, my fingertips are like this, right? Go 5, 6, 7, 8, and go around, and then rest. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then front, top, back, bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. Front, top, back, bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. Front, top, back, bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8. Front, top, back, bottom. You're like, no, I'm just gonna keep going. I don't need the rest. I've got it. I've got it. You do, you totally have it. And now one thing is look forward instead of looking at the poi, because you don't want to need to look at the poi. You want to be able to look forward because you're going to be doing the other arm at the same time. Right now what you're doing is this. Bottom, front, top for a full pedal, and then back. At the top, it's not a full pedal like that. It never hits the bottom. You immediately, once you get to the top, immediately push it back. Immediately push it back. So it's a lift and back. A lift and back. Do you have an empty wall in your house? So then what you could do if you want to try and refine this without having to worry about knowing how straight it is and looking at it, what you could do is, you could even close your eyes and do this. Go up to the wall and practice doing it against the wall so that the wall itself will keep you honest. But of course, the reason I was saying you want an empty wall is because you don't want it hitting anything, right? You still are in the bottom position, then you still go to the front, and then you're gonna lift up and then go back while you open that hip and then come down. I mean, you could also do the following drills to help you, right? So we did the drill for the Pilates. This can also be helpful where you're, for each hand, you hold it, the bowdoin position's easy, but just holding it here, this will help you develop the core strength to have, and if you really want to level it up, you can hold it like this, where the left arm is here, because this is how it's actually going to be. Then you can go back, you can go up, hold it here, back to neutral with your core muscles, and then practice holding it back here. And these things will help you develop the strength necessary to do the movement. And then you can try going through it. You can also try moving 2 positions at once instead of all 4 positions. So if you're in the front here with the right hand, go up and over and then hold it back here. Then go down in front and hold it here. Then up and over and hold it here. Then down in front and hold it here. And then add the other arm in for added difficulty. Arm, not poi. Arm, not poi.